Welcome to USSO's Eyes on Events. This week we're speaking to David Silkenat, who is the organiser of the American History Workshops at the University of Edinburgh.
So I organized the University of Edinburgh's American History Workshop. The workshop has been an ongoing project at the university for many years. I've been at Edinburgh for 7 years, and it antecedes me. But I've been running the workshop for the past 5 years. And the workshop is a venue for American historians to present works in progress. And under normal circumstances, we sort of run the seminar or the workshop every Thursday afternoon during term time. People present a chapter that we pre-circulate, and then we get together and we discuss the chapter. Sometimes it's a dissertation chapter, sometimes it's a book chapter, sometimes it's an article, but something of approximately that size. And the idea behind the workshop is to provide a supportive, helpful environment for scholars to share works that they are still sort of working through, and to sort of help them get that project to whatever the next stage is. And it's also a project that I think is very important, for people to see what works in progress look like, to see how history is made. So I think part of the value of the workshop is you get to see something that's not the finished final product, but something that is still, a work in progress. And which I think is a very helpful thing for people to see. And we, in putting together the workshop every year, one of the things that I've tried to do is try to have a variety of scholars of different points in their careers. Some of the people who are presenting their work are PhD students who are really sort of doing their first massive part of a piece of academic writing, full on to people who are emeritus professors who are continuing to publish scholarship into their retirement, and everything in between. And one of the things I think people recognize is that we're all sort of wrestling with the same kinds of issues. So the workshop's been going on for many years, but obviously this year is different than every other year, and so we've moved the workshop online. We actually started that over the summer, and we're going to be doing that into this coming academic year, where we're going to be on Zoom, which I'm choosing to see as an opportunity rather than something that's a compromise, because in some ways this allows us to have scholars who weren't able to come to Edinburgh for one reason or another to participate in the workshop, to present their scholarship, and for people who want to join the workshop. We've always had people who are not necessarily University of Edinburgh affiliated come to the workshop, but usually they've been bound by geography in doing so. And now we're Zoom allows us to open that up to other people as well.
Have you encountered any particular challenges while you've been organising this event?
Oh, that's a good question. In some ways there are fewer challenges organizing it this year in some ways than there have been in past years, because in past years you have to think about people's schedules and transportation, and making sure, especially visiting people had hotel rooms and the like, and obviously this year it's simply a matter of making sure everyone understands what time zone they're in, and doing it that way. But I've had a great deal of I've been very fortunate in being able to ask people to participate, and people have been very interested. So it's haven't had any particular problems yet. Keep our fingers crossed. I'm sure the technology will probably not cooperate some week, but
Would you have any advice for anyone who's looking to start running similar events?
I think the key about a work in progress workshop is to sort of create a good environment for people who are presenting their work, so that they know that they're going to get good feedback, that they know that they're going to get a meaningful intellectual experience for them that will help them take their project to the next stage. But it's also very important, especially for people who are presenting their scholarship for the first time, to have it be a very supportive environment, so places where people will tell them the things that they are doing well, as opposed to the places that that they need to improve, or places that that are weaker. So I think it's really about creating the right environment for people to feel comfortable sharing their work, and recognizing that whether you're a PhD student or a senior scholar, we're all sort of coming into this with, in some ways, the same sort of sets of issues, and we're all coming to an equal table.
Great. And finally, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to in the upcoming workshops?
Oh, well, we've just got a really great set of papers, and I don't want to pin any particular scholar because I don't want to leave anybody out. But we've tried to very much to get a whole range of American history. We've got a paper that looks at colonial Dutch settlement. We've got things that look at the American Revolution. There's stuff that looks at the Civil Rights Movement, and everything in between. So we tried to sort of get the whole breadth of American history, relatively speaking, into at least one of the sessions. And so I'm really looking forward to sort of dabbling in a little bit of everything. And I'm looking forward to having people participate in the workshop who haven't previously, because they're able to, because of distance, or because of other obligations they have in their lives. It means they're not available at 5 o'clock on a Thursday. And so if people want to join in the workshop, they are very welcome to do so. If you can email me, you'll be put on the email list for the workshop, which means you'll get all the papers in advance. And we pre-circulate all the papers in advance so that people can have a chance to sort of read and think about them before the workshop. And so it's really, a time for discussion.
Thank you. So the University of Edinburgh's American History Fall Workshop Series starts on the 24th of September 2020. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
It was my pleasure.